Salarah Starre is a UK-based advanced law of attraction teacher trainer, coach, public speaker, and leading wellness expert. She will share life-changing wisdom about the law of attraction and how you can use this powerful universal law to build a foundation for bigger and bolder manifesting results. It is time to create the life you deserve, and with Salarah's help, you will.
How to create a daily routine that enhances your ability to shape your reality. You may well be familiar with that feeling of life being like some kind of treadmill, automated Groundhog Day type experience, where every day just feels like a repeat, a rinse, recycle, and repeat of the previous day and the previous day and the previous day. And that kind of endless soul destroying routine or cycle that just feels like it's sucking the joy out of your life, and leaves you thinking and even feeling, oh my God, there has to be more to life than this. I am Salarah Starre, your law of attraction coach and mentor, and I help you master your manifestations and your life. And today we are going to be delving deeper into the power of breaking free from that automated rinse, recycle, and repeat experience so that we can become conscious curators of our reality. And we are going to be drawing some inspiration from the timeless film Groundhog Day. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend doing so, especially on a manifestation or self-development journey. It's got some really powerful messages in there. And you'll see why by the end of the show, I've decided to draw upon Groundhog Day inspiration for our time together today. So we're also going to be talking about how to incorporate the law of attraction, but I'm going to be sharing something with you today called habit stacking, which can lead to, wait for it, profound transformation in your life. And it can help you to pivot from your current timeline into the timeline of the person who you want to become, who lives the life that you want to live. And I'll also be sharing a few practical strategies as well, just so that you can intentionally create your dream life and teach you how these tiny, small, little changes will create a powerful ripple effect and really sustainable growth as well. So we're going to master habit stacking today and accelerate your attraction so that we can really begin to, or continue rather, unlock success in whatever area of life that you want to activate. But actually, it has a ripple effect on all areas of your life. So we're kind of like in a real win-win situation here today. So the concept of living an automated Groundhog Day existence is something that I know we all feel at some point. The amount of times when I've been stuck or locked into a grueling routine where my alarm goes off at the same time every day, I then go into whatever my routines might be, whether it's my well-being routines, whether it's my journaling, whether it's feeding the dogs, whether it's having my tea, having my breakfast, whether it's getting myself ready, whatever it might be, it can be very, very repetitive and automated. And in some respects, that can feel mindless and numbing and soul destroying, like I mentioned earlier. But we can find ways to ride or piggyback, if you like, off our current routines to add some real sparkle and actually use those as opportunities to pivot onto a timeline of our choosing. So, of course, Groundhog Day, today's podcast, episode rather, is inspired by the film Groundhog Day. And we're going to be looking at how we unknowingly, so unconsciously, we fall into these routines. And they absolutely hinder our ability to really shape the reality and our reality in the way that we want them to. So we become that awake, conscious curator, conscious creator of our reality. And in the movie Groundhog Day, the main character there finds himself stuck in a repetitive loop, which we can all relate to, living the same day over and over and over. It's actually really interesting to watch it in film. And then I will sit back and think, oh my gosh, there's so many times that I have felt the way he feels. And of course, amongst the monotony of his existence, he then starts to notice subtle opportunities to bring about change in his life. He starts to wake up, if you like. You know, to start with, he didn't know that he didn't know, much like where I was. Maybe that's where you were too. And then you start to kind of get insights and awarenesses and awakening. And now you know that you didn't know, which is an even more interesting step. And he starts to walk his life towards a place of now knowing that he knows, which is advanced manifestation the way I see it. So through incremental changes every single day, he makes really sustainable progress. So he breaks free from that numbing cycle, if you like, and transforms his mundane existence into something actually really quite extraordinary. And when you watch the film, you're like, oh my word, those tiny little changes ended up in him experiencing an extraordinary life. And we have that available to us as well. A lot of the times films actually can share amazing messages with us. And the Groundhog Day message is one which is very, very important and very powerful, and we can all relate to. So in a nutshell, he ends up manifesting loads of positive changes. He starts to form really meaningful, deep connection in his relationships and lives a life full of color. So instead of life feeling like one of those old kind of box black and white tellies, his life turns into this high definition experience of full-blown color and fulfillment and enrichment. So just like the film, as I've kind of already alluded to, our lives may also feel like a never-ending cycle at times. I don't know if you might be nodding your head with me now, going, yep, I totally relate to that. But when we start to learn about the law of attraction and learn that we are the creators of our own reality, that we get to create or curate our dream life, if you like, we can, just like the main character in the Groundhog film, we can start to steer our lives towards a life that is more desirable, more fulfilling, more enriching, more joyful, more calm, more peaceful. But I guess the first important thing here is having the awareness that it's possible, of course, to start with, but also recognizing the power that we actually hold. We are our magic wands. We hold the power to shape our reality. One intentional choice and one small change at a time. And when I hear that small change at a time, it's like I feel a choir of angels are going, hallelujah. Because, you know, nobody wants to make these huge, massive changes, which feel like they're going to, you know, kind of rattle the ground that we're walking on. Reminds me of that Martika song, actually. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down. Sorry, do you remember that one? Ugh, I wish life was a musical. It'd be so cool if everyone just went around singing everywhere. But yeah, it stops it from being this one big kind of feeling of rug pull, and it's something that we feel is a gentle pivot towards the life that we desire to live. So we're going to be sharing, like I said earlier, some tips on habit stacking. But first, let's just have a little reminder. We all need a reminder, whether we're beginners or master manifestors in the making. Remember, the law of attraction states like energy attracts like energy, or it works off the principle that like energy attracts like energy. So if we're living an automated kind of Groundhog Day existence, we're only going to attract more of the same, and it leaves us feeling the same, just sucking us more into that kind of mindless, colorless existence, if you like. And of course, as the law of attraction states, that when we focus our thoughts on what we do want, we start to have feelings and emotions that are uplifting. We feel happy, we feel excited, and we have beliefs of, I can do this, anything is possible, the universe has my back. Then we can absolutely attract positive outcomes and wonderful opportunities, which I guess are the same as positive outcomes, but you know, we'll have chance meetings and everything will feel magical and aligned, and things will just happen, you know, that would seem like they're miracles, but actually it's more that we're in alignment than there's a miracle that's happened. And we just attract wonderful experiences into our life as a result. And when we consciously align our thoughts in this way, in other words, thinking about what we do want rather than what we don't want, as aforementioned, we then start to activate the feelings of what it might feel like if we were already living that dream life, you know, jumping into that future space as if it's happening now. And from a place of curiosity, I wonder what it would feel like to have X, Y, and Z. I wonder what that would feel like. And when you go into that space of wondering and curiosity, you start to get glimpses of that reality. You start feeling the feelings associated with the activation of that timeline. And the more you can jump into that space, but from a place of fun and joy, and as I said before, curiosity rather than attachment, we then start to set in motion a series of events that will lead to the manifestation of our desires. So we slowly start to shift timelines from current timeline to that future timeline. So when we take steps like this, like envisaging our reality, ideal desired reality, and we take other steps every day, whether it be practicing gratitude, which is one of my favorites, whether it be the pivoting meditation that I shared with you 2 episodes ago, 14-day challenge. It is life-changing. It really helps you to jump timelines in a very easy way, which only takes a few minutes every day. So if you haven't checked that out, it's highly worth it, putting that in your little list of things to activate your vibration every day. And of course, looking for the opportunities for growth. This is where we then create a very, very powerful, beautiful magnetic energy that draws abundance of every kind to us, which includes success and happiness and love and prosperity. And I could go on and on and on. So through the law of attraction, we can kind of like over time cultivate a mindset of abundance. And this, I say over time because it is important to be really consistent and persistent with these kind of new habits, if you like, because that's when we really start to see results, but not from a Groundhog Day automated robotic type energy. And so many people who, let me just, sorry, I've got my little dog upsetting my other dog underneath the table here. Teddy, come here. Good boy. There we go. Good boy. Go over there. He's got his little unicorn that a friend gave to him, and the other one wanted to get it, basically. So that could have been a very interesting outcome. Anyway, there's a little insight into my life. That's little Teddy, the Yorkshire Terrier. He's so cute. And little Frankie's my 17-year-old boy. Oh, he's such a dreamboat. I can't believe he's 17 already. He's doing so well. So by practicing and starting to stack helpful habits in some of our daily routines, we can really start to draw a lot of this to us. But like I said, it needs to come from that space of fun and flow and enjoyment, because a lot of people, when it comes to manifesting, they'll set their routine, like wake up 5:30, journal out, write your journal, get up, brush your teeth, affirmations in the mirror. Now, all of that's great, right? I'm a massive fan on that, but it really does need to be done with some enthusiasm and with joy. And if you find yourself getting into that automated, robotic kind of a manifestation space, if you like, then it really is time to shake things up, because like attracts like, right? You'll only attract more of the same. So instead, maybe whack a song on in the morning that raises your vibrations and just change things up a little bit, just to keep things interesting and keep things alive, which is what I do. I don't stick with the same routine endlessly. I change things up, and that's what kind of keeps me interested. It keeps me focused, but also helps to keep my vibration at a certain level as well. So remember, our thoughts have the power to manifest and create our reality. A lot of new thought thinkers believe that thoughts are the very seed of creation. They're the very start of any manifestation. Thoughts create feelings. Feelings create a lens in which we view the world through. And the lens in which we view the world through then determines how we react and respond. So you can see that thoughts are the kind of very foundation in the chain of events, if you like. So that's why thoughts, they do play an important part. So if you are thinking, oh yes, I really got to start learning to align my thoughts, I could do with shaking things up a little bit. Episode 67, I ran a 14-day affirmation challenge. It's actually one of the most popular episodes, if you like. And when I did the challenge myself, so many amazing things started to materialize in my life. I was actually, even though I've been doing this stuff for a long time, I was shocked myself. I was like, oh my God, like all these wonderful opportunities, so many things started to happen and come into my awareness. And it was really quite magical. I've shifted since, because I'm doing another challenge at the moment, 14-day challenge. You can see I like to shake things up a little bit, keep things interesting. And this is the pivot challenge, and that's another really popular one, actually. And that one was episode, I need to try and think what episode that one was. It was on the 12th of March, that one. I know that. I don't know why I'm even remembering that date, but let me see if I can find that for you. You'll see it says there very clearly in the show description. What is it? So it's basically vibrational mastery, shifting from fear to love. So it's only a few shows ago. That's another really lovely one. And this really helps to magnify feelings that are already good in your experience, even when sometimes things just feel really dark and dreary. There's always, always good feelings in your vibration. It's a bit like that picture that I've seen on social media. I don't know if you've seen it, where you got somebody in a bus and they're looking out of one side of the window and all they see is this cliff, this kind of, this wall, this cliff. Whereas the other person sitting in the other seat on the opposite side of the bus is looking out over this beautiful horizon. And it really is about us learning to tune into all the good that is already there. The peace, the calm, the stability, the safety, the abundance, the joy. It's all there. It's just intentionally experiencing it. So the pivot challenge is really good to train you on that one. And it's remembering, because what you focus on grows, right? And then it takes you into a gratitude process as well, a 2-part gratitude process. So it helps you to shift your focus, like I said before, from that kind of dull, scarce, stressed space to a space of kind of like that brightness, that color, that prosperity, that abundance. And it really allows you to see the beauty and joy that surrounds you. So these are kind of like tips for becoming a more conscious creator and really breaking free from that routine, shake things up a little and start to bring things in which you enjoy and make you feel alive, and you're starting to learn something new and do things a bit differently. Because remember, if you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you've always got, right? So if you want to be someone different, you need to do things differently. So now we're going on to habit stacking, which I love this concept. And I think it's very, very important, actually, because it makes things a little bit more reachable rather than completely changing something up and injecting something difficult to maintain in a routine, which a lot of people do in my coaching practice. They come in and say, right, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week and I'm going to prepare all my lunches on a Sunday, and which is great. Don't get me wrong. They are really great things to do. But they haven't built up that muscle of creating new habits, therefore trying to bring something really big into a very already well-established rigid routine quite often doesn't work, and will eventually just leave them feeling like they're a failure and giving up, and then, you know, kind of going through a whole mental process over that. So habit stacking is really important. So what this is, it's about piggybacking new habits onto existing ones. And I really love that. And this, you know, can really help you to kind of maintain your momentum, if you like. So what kind of things? So you identify the daily habits and routines that you are already in the flow of, so already really ingrained in your life. So you might take the dog out for a walk in the morning, or every one of us brushes our teeth, right? Or you might lie in bed and have a cup of tea before you get out of bed. And all we're going to do is say you're going to pair this habit with a new one as well. So say, for example, brushing your teeth, you can look in the mirror and say your affirmations in your head. When you're walking the dog, you can listen to a podcast. When you are loading and unloading your dishwasher, you can put on a song, an uplifting song, and that will raise your vibrations too. So it's finding things that you can stack and piggyback on top of your routine. And it just then becomes a part, becomes very, very habitual. That's how I do it. So I have a very, very beautiful routine where in the morning when I'm putting my makeup on and I'm getting ready, I'll listen to a podcast or a book of some sort. Once I've fed the dogs and I'm having my cup of tea, I'll then go and do my pivot meditation, which is my current routine. And then I lie there in all those beautiful new feelings. Well, they're not new, they were always there, right? That I've activated. And then I do my gratitude. And it just feels really good. And I do self-development and a few other bits throughout the day. So it's combining a new habit with an established one. So it might be for you that after brushing your teeth in the morning, you may take a few minutes to practice gratitude or set a positive intention for the day. And what's really important is to be very consistent with this. So consistency is key to anything, right? But it also is also key to habit stacking. So repeat your habit stack every single day. And this reinforces the connection between the new habit and the existing one. But on a much bigger level, you are not only creating new grooves in your brain and growing new brain stems, which are more in alignment with what you want to experience, but you are feeling good, right? Which is what it's all about. You're being proactive and you're going to feel a sense of accomplishment. And that in itself leaves you feeling uplifted, more energized and positive. So this kind of integrated approach can help you to become more conscious and also more present, because how many times are we either brushing our teeth or walking the dog or unloading the dishwasher, and we're already at the meeting at work or having the conversation with the kids after school in our head. All of it's in our head, right? We're never really present. So this also helps to incorporate that kind of mindfulness. So today is all about becoming aware of where you're kind of in that automated, robotic type existence, if you like. So as I'm talking, you may already have some areas in your life that you are ready to work on. And with this awareness, you can then intentionally and of course with purpose begin the habit stacking. So you may want to make a commitment to yourself now, right? Well, when I do X, Y, and Z, this is when I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and make that a part of your routine. And this is a part of pivoting, but also it's part of you kind of bringing the future you into the current time and bringing the current time into the future you and kind of merging those timelines. And you will see that these small changes, they're absolutely going to lead to big transformations. Not only in your mindset, because you're going to feel so much better. When you feel better, of course, you then start to see things in your world, which, by the way, were already there. You just didn't see because you were focused on a different vibrational frequency, if you like. But your overall well-being, everything is going to be affected by this, everything. So just a few examples of habit stacking then. So when you're having your morning tea or coffee, you could do gratitude. You could just take a moment to express gratitude for what you already have that's good in your life right now. But also you may want to bring in some manifestation technique of, okay, well, what 3 things are you manifesting in your future? And be grateful for them as if they have already happened. I love that. And reflecting on that while you're sipping your coffee. So 3 things that you're grateful for in here and now, 3 things you know you're working on manifesting, and you're going to say them as if they've already happened. When you're commuting to work, a lot of people like to then listen to a podcast or music. And what a lovely way to kind of utilize that time to kind of center yourself, uplift yourself, expand your consciousness by listening to podcasts or audiobooks or something like that. And you may already be doing some of this. And if you are, and you go, yeah, I'm already doing that, I'm already doing that. Well, big, massive pat on the back to you. And I tell you what, your future self is so grateful to you for doing that. Some people like to take a short walk or stretch after lunch, maybe. You know, you can kind of use after lunch to prioritize maybe some kind of self-care. Some people like to say affirmations in the showers. I like to, in the shower rather than showers, I like to imagine that the shower is this beautiful, brilliant, divine white light, and it's washing away any old energy, any limiting beliefs, and it's all going down the plug hole. I love that. Or you could say your affirmations there if you want to as well. You know, I'm strong. Every day in every way, I am becoming more and more abundant. I am strong. I'm powerful. I'm focused. I'm determined, whatever they might be. There's some examples in the podcast 67 if you want some examples of some affirmations you could say, or you could just listen to that, right? Just remember the timestamp on it and just play that one over and over. So like I said, brushing your teeth. Sometimes I like to do a little bit of mirror work then, actually, very popularized by Louise Hay. It's a really lovely way to become your own cheerleader, to support yourself by looking deep in your eyes and saying, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you for everything you've overcome. I'm proud of you for everything that you've achieved. I'm proud of you that you've even showing up to do this work. You know, I'm really proud of you, or I love you and I'm here for you, or whatever it might be. Just really to take that time and say positive things to yourself. It's very, very uplifting, very, very uplifting. And it's a way to reprogram any limiting beliefs you might have about not being lovable or good enough or worthy or deserving. So you can look at yourself in the mirror and saying, you deserve all good, or say I or you, however. I deserve all good, not some, not a little, but all good. And even as you're listening to this now, even if you haven't got a mirror in front of you, just pretend you have. Pretend you're looking in your eyes and saying, you know what? You're lovely, you are, and you deserve all good. I could get a bit carried away here, so I'll move on. Sometimes when people are drinking water, they like to imagine writing a positive statement on a piece of paper, rest their water on it. There's been some really interesting experiments actually by a guy called Dr. Emoto. And he noticed that when he wrote positive words like love and peace and joy on a piece of paper, then he looked at the molecular structure of the water underneath a microscope. It was completely different to when he wrote nothing on the piece of paper at all, or when he wrote other more negative words on the piece of paper. He did a big, massive experiment, and the way he did it slightly varies from the way I've explained it, but the concept's exactly the same. So some people like to write a positive word for the day, whatever the intention might be, place a glass of water on it, and throughout the day, drink the water, visualizing you're bringing that vibration into your life, especially if you want to drink more water throughout the day, right? That's a lovely way to do it. So some people, maybe whilst you're preparing your meal, you might want to do mindful food prep or mindful eating. And this is really good, actually. When we eat really mindfully, food tastes completely different. And we have so much gratitude for food. So if you haven't tried mindful eating before, I highly recommend it. So there's loads. I've mentioned so many. You probably have some of your own as well. You know, I highly recommend just giving at least one of them a go. Just 1% difference every single day is absolutely going to activate the timeline of your desire. It really, really will. So, you know, these examples that I've used today, they do demonstrate how you can stack new habits onto existing ones so that you can cultivate all sorts, whether it be self-care, healthy mindset, mindfulness, presence, joy, peace, whatever it might be. So you can experiment with one or different combinations, but just make sure that you tailor a habit that really suits your lifestyle and your goals. And that's what's going to make it the most powerful. So in wrapping up this lovely conversation and this time with you today, it's been really beautiful. Before I go, actually, remember to share this with anybody that you think could really do with a little bit of a boost and some help. Yeah, so just wrapping this up, this beautiful metaphor of Groundhog Day and breaking free from these horrendous, old, grueling routines, if you like, and living life with intention and becoming the creator and curator of the life that we want to live. And when we start to kind of bring in concepts such as habit stacking, understanding the power of the law of attraction, we then start to see how these simple, easy actions can really make massive shifts in our life and change the way we feel about everything. So I think I've just remembered the name in the film, actually. It's called Phil Connors, I think. And just like he learned in the movie, that we all have the potential to shape our reality just by crafting intentional habits, every day, and knowing that we absolutely deserve it and that we are worthy of it, and having so much gratitude for ourselves, for showing up for ourselves. So thank you to Groundhog Day for such a powerful lesson and being able to share this wisdom and inspiration with you today. It's been absolutely beautiful, as always. I love my time with you. And thank you as well for your lovely feedback. I always really appreciate that as well. And I hope that you have the most beautiful rest of your day and enjoy habit stacking. And I will be back with you at the same time next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Salarah Starre will be back next week with great insights into the law of attraction. In the meantime, please visit salarahstarre.com.